Welcome back to another episode of The Athlete's Mindset. Today, I'm joined by Brice Matthews, an elite infielder from Houston, Texas. Brice had an incredible career at the University of Nebraska, where he made a name for himself with his talent, work ethic, and leadership on the field. His success in college led to him being drafted in the first round of the 2023 MLB draft by his hometown team, the Houston Astros. Brice's journey is one of dedication, resilience, and seizing every opportunity. In this episode, we dive into his time at Nebraska, his mindset as an athlete, and what it was like to hear his name called on draft day. We also talk about the challenges and adjustments that come with transitioning to pro ball and how he continues to grow as a player. I'm excited for you to hear Brice's story. Let's get into it. Brice, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good, T. How are you?
I'm good. Just had your birthday the other day. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. A lot of fun. Just went out to eat with the parents and kicked it with the guys and then went back home. Yeah, just chill.
Nice. That's awesome. How's Florida been so far?
It's been good. Weather's been really good. It hasn't been like too hot. Getting to learn a lot. Being in big league camp first time, so it's been a joy and a blast, and I'm just super blessed to be here.
Yeah. What's the biggest difference you think, Ben, from just big league camp to usually how the spring has been in the past?
Um, I think it's like everybody there, they know like what they need to do every day, and like they don't. It's not like some of the babysitting stuff. I kind of say a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, those guys, they know what they need. Like they know how to prepare, and just getting to see them and watch them prepare is like it's crazy. It's the same routine every day, and so just picking up on that, finding my routine and what works for me. It's been really good to watch those guys and just be around them and learn.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I want to kind of throw back a little bit to your time at Nebraska.
Yeah,
Like many freshmen going from high school, just a high school kid going to a new place, you going from Houston, Texas, all the way to Nebraska.
yeah.
What was kind of that transition like going there?
Um, it was very different because it was the first time being away from home. Uh, for that extended amount of time. It's probably the same for you going all the way to Cali. Just like learning new places, um, what you want to do, how to maneuver around the town. Um, I had a lot of good people, as you know,
Yeah.
around me and helping me just know where to be. I had Max every day, Garrett, Will, all the guys, honestly, upperclassmen as well. Because I didn't have my car my freshman year, so I was just riding with Garrett and Drew and TP and Jack and Max everywhere. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. Baseball wise, I feel like, I mean, when I showed up to California, I felt almost just like in my head, almost like I didn't belong or just like a fish out of water, new place. I'm trying to impress people. When you showed up on campus, especially when you got into fall baseball stuff, did you feel like you struggled with that at all? Or you felt like you just went in with confidence and were running from the get go?
Um, I didn't really know what to expect, so I kind of just dove headfirst in the pool and just went after it. I had a lot of success in the fall. I had a lot of good upperclassmen and the coaches just giving me more confidence every day. With Spencer, Cam, Joe, Jackson, Mojo, Roscom, all those upperclassmen guys, they just let me be myself, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of guys just to be there and help me through everything and just allow me to grow.
100%. So you have a pretty solid freshman year. You
Yeah,
play almost every day. And then you get into your sophomore year, and no one wants to kind of admit it, but you kind of had that sophomore slump. You kind of struggled
yeah.
a little bit. How was your mental just throughout that process, throughout that season?
It was very rough. It was the first time in my life where like I didn't like showing up to the field. I didn't have the joy I had previously every day. Um, it was rough, man. It was real rough. I felt like everybody was a little divided, honestly. Um, we had all the high hopes after going to a regional, winning the Big Ten, and for it not to happen, it was just like, what's going on? So it was a little rough. But I think after the season, going to summer ball, it allowed me to have fun again, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. How was your just kind of your process throughout your sophomore year? You're kind of struggling, almost, you're in a few slumps. What did you try to do to kind of get out of those slumps and still kind of maintain that positivity?
I leaned on my support system, my family, my teammates. Um, I actually started going to a mental coach. Well, I started going my freshman year. We had a guy named Dr. Woods. He's really good. So he was there just learning to how to talk more positively to yourself because the brain doesn't know when you're joking around. So if you say stuff, that's how your brain interprets it honestly and wholeheartedly. So learning how to talk to myself better, give myself more grace and more patience, and you lean on God, being very prayerful in my word. I think using the Lord, it was the most help I could have. Um, Utilizing Him and just letting Him take over, it did tremendous things for me.
Definitely. I feel like that makes it so much easier too, is when you kind of just rely on God and in your head you just know like there's a plan behind this, like there's a reason.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
I stress over every little thing, every single at bat and wonder why am I not hitting the ball here? Why am I not
yeah,
doing this? Then it just makes it so much harder just to get out of that slump or kind of grow off that.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Kind of going off that, I want to read off your junior year stats and how you responded after your sophomore year. So, your junior year, you hit 359 with 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, and 67 RBIs. What do you think? What do you attest to going from that sophomore year to making that just huge stride your junior year?
yeah. I think it was a culmination of a lot of things. Working with my coaches every day, um, leaning on God, leaning on my faith. We had a new mental skills guy, Nadu. He was great for me. It was a little rocky at first because having to talk to somebody new and opening up, it was a little different, and it's hard because I'm not a very trusting person. So finally opening up to him and leaning on my teammates and just trying to have fun every day. Like every day, it was going to be the most fun day. Showing up to the park, um, just being able to be out there and play. Um, I think the biggest thing though was I stopped caring so much. Honestly, like whatever happened, it was like okay, whatever. If I hit a home run, cool. If I strike out, cool. If I make an error, cool. It didn't really matter. It's just trying to enjoy it, be a great leader, and just have fun, win games.
Definitely. I feel like you almost in baseball you have to have that kind of goldfish mentality where you just
Yeah,
forget things 3 seconds later. Because I
yeah,
mean, if you ride the highs too long, let's say you hit a home run and you think you're God's gift to baseball, the game will humble you real
exactly.
quick, and then you strike out. If you take that way too deeply, you're going to strike
Hmm.
out the next at bat.
Exactly.
One thing that I liked that we just had our strength coach at Portland talked about is um, kind of looking at yourself in a third person mindset. So let's say your teammate strikes out. You don't say the things that you say to yourself when you strike out. You're like, oh, like
Exactly.
he'll figure it out. He struck out. Like I
Yeah.
believe in him. Next at bat, he'll make something happen. But when you strike out personally, you're like, I'm the worst. What's wrong with me? There's something wrong with my swing. Like I feel like that's something that a lot of guys don't realize. And a positive outlook leads to a positive outcome. But if you just have negative
100%.
thoughts running through your brain, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard game too. So it's you got to learn how to talk to yourself in a better way, and because this game like it'll beat you down. It will beat you down, and when you learn how to adjust and change that mindset in your head, it works wonders.
100%. So going off of that, you have that insane junior year. Your mental's way better, and you end up getting drafted in the first round to your hometown team and the Houston Astros. What was that day like? Just hearing your name called, and probably so much anxiety, and just like, where the hell am I going to end up? What's going to
Yeah,
happen? What was kind of going through your head?
it was a lot of fun. Having my family there, my best friends there, being able to be there and support me, it meant the world to me. I loved it. I wasn't crazy nervous in the beginning because I kind of knew what range I was gonna be picked in, sort of say. Um, I think like my family, they were way more nervous than I was. Um, because I just go with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. Uh, but as it kind of crept up and we started talking on the phone, with my agent, and what was gonna happen, it was like my heart started beating faster. I started getting a little sweaty. Um, and to hear my name called, it was crazy. It's still surreal. It doesn't feel real, honestly. Um, it was the best day of my life for sure.
100%. I feel like one thing that's super crazy though about the MLB draft is you get drafted and it's almost like a week or two later you're down
Yeah,
in Florida and you're just getting right back to work. What was
yeah.
that transition like? Like I feel like you can't be too excited for too long because you're like, oh, I got to go back to playing baseball now. What was it like when you show up right after getting drafted and start getting work in?
It's almost like the first day of school again. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like new people, new faces, learning everything's different. Uh, so they just like tested you out, and we just did same baseball stuff with ground balls, hit and cage, pretty simple. And then we started playing, and I was like, whoa. It's like you got the starter throwing 95, and then the guys in a seventh, eighth, and ninth, they're all throwing 100. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Uh, but as a competitor, you want that. You love that. It was so much fun learning, being able to play with my new teammates, learning the Latin culture because we didn't have that in Nebraska,
no, absolutely
or
not.
just learning new language and just baseball, having fun. You get to play every day as your job, so there's just nothing better than that.
Yeah, I was talking to Max, and he was like, "That's the one thing he
Yeah,
said. He's like, it's like a job. I mean, you guys have a long off season, but you guys are still working on your craft and stuff. But
yeah,
he's just like, it's a long, like, it's
every day
every day of the year. And then, I mean, it's way better than working a 9 to 5. I can 100% tell you that. But
for
um,
sure.
so going off of that, what was kind of the biggest transition? Maybe not in like just when you're down in Florida for spring ball, but when you're actually playing in single A and double A and even triple A. What's the biggest difference from that to college ball?
Um, I think it's the everyday. Like you get to work on your craft every day. You have all day to work on your craft. Um, and it tests you a lot because shoot, these guys are bringing out their best stuff every day. Like it's 6 days a week, and in college, like you played 3 or 4 days max, and so that you had time to like recoup and give yourself a break. But now it's every day, so like how you get pitched on Tuesday is probably going to be the same way you get pitched all week, unless you're making an adjustment and just raking. But if you're hitting bad, they're going to do the same thing until you make an adjustment. So I think that's the biggest thing. And going up in levels, I say the game obviously speeds up a little bit because moving to a new place, competition's a little bit better each level you go, and everything's more a little bit sharper and sharper every level. So I think that was the biggest thing I learned. And hitting wise, like seeing the pitchers from low A to triple A, the guys in triple A, they don't throw as hard as the guys in the other levels, but they locate so well. Like they don't really
Yeah.
miss any spots. So I think that's the biggest difference hitting wise, and just knowing how to have a plan of attack and being mentally strong willed for sure.
Definitely. So going back to you being a first round pick, has that put any pressure on yourself? Or I guess there's, I guess expectations from fans and just the organization. Have you allowed that to put pressure on yourself, or you just like go out there and you just play freely?
Um, I think in low A I kind of struggled and I didn't really have a good short season, so it's kind of like the expectation of myself. But I had great coaches and they told me like it doesn't matter like if you're a first rounder, everybody still got to play the game the same way. So like don't put any pressure on yourself because like it really doesn't matter. You're still at this point you're not in the bigs yet, so you just gotta play your game and develop. And then it was kind of rough. Like going from having a lot of success to struggling all over again. It was like, what's going on? But then last year, just kind of figuring out myself and learning what's going on, how to approach the stuff with how am I getting attacked? How do I prepare myself every day to be the best Brice I can be? Um, it allowed me to have a lot of success, and move up the ladder pretty quickly. It's been crazy.
Yeah, 100%. It's been unbelievable just to watch. And you check Twitter, and it's like, oh, Bryce is in Double A now, and then the next week you're like, oh, now he's in Triple A. So it's been fun to watch, and it's super sweet. Going along with that, is
Thanks, kid.
there, like you said, that you're playing every day,
Yeah,
and instead of playing 3 4 games like you did in college, you're playing 7 days a week. You don't have many off days. How do you, let's say you are in a slump, how do you kind of maintain your confidence? Because you're playing a long season. Like 3 or 4 bad days really isn't the end of the world. You have so much time to kind of learn from that and build off of that. But
for
how do you
sure.
maintain confidence when you are slumping a little bit?
Yeah, it kind of gets a little frustrating, but at the end of the day, like I know I'm gonna get maybe three more bats the next day. So like I have to get myself out of that mindset of like being negative and lock in because tomorrow it might be even harder. But you could go 0 for 3, but that fourth at bat, it could be the most important bat of the game, and just being locked in every at bat, every pitch, and try not to give away at bats, um, because all it takes is one stretch, and then your season's made.
Yeah, I think it's crazy too. You're like you just said, your fourth at bat could be the most important at bat, and you're one hit away from a good night's sleep. Like you're one hit away from
Yeah,
going home and being like, oh, that was not that bad of a day. That was a decent day. So I think
100%.
that that's pretty cool just that you recognize that early. Because like you said, you don't want to waste any at bats. I know you're getting 500 at bats in the season, but
Yeah,
one wasted at bat is it's a wasted at bat. So I think that's
for sure.
100% that a lot of feel like young kids, especially even in college, is you strike out your first at bat and they just let it ruin their whole day.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that's tough. What has been kind of the biggest mental challenge that you faced, maybe in your whole entire career or maybe just in pro ball? Because I know, like you just said earlier, baseball, it's hard. It's not easy. There's a lot of times where you're down on yourself or you're struggling. What's just been the biggest challenge for you?
Um, I think learning how to be patient with myself and giving myself grace that one day's not gonna like make or break you, whatever you do. So, uh, slowing myself down and learning how to talk more positively and just being my best supporter. Um, because as athletes, we want to do the best, and nobody wants to fail. And it's about what happens after you fail, how you approach the next day, the next at bat, the next pitch, and willing yourself to make a change, be better. There's a lot of stuff that you can't control, so you got to control what you can control: your attitude, your effort, your decision making, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really good stuff. And I mean, it takes a while. It definitely takes a while for people to actually learn that and understand that. I was
Exactly.
talking to Schwelly the other day, and he brought up how if he could tell, I'll ask you this question later, but he said if he could tell his younger self one thing, he would tell him that it's okay to get out. It's okay not to strike every batter out. Like he almost took everything
Yeah,
so deeply that it made it tough to even just enjoy the game. And like you said, that's the
for
number one
sure.
thing is you want to do. But
Because
um,
it's like if you're not having fun with this, like then what are you doing? You got to have
yeah,
fun. Like this game's meant to have fun. So
especially when you're playing every single day, getting 500
yeah,
at bats. If you're not enjoying it, that has to be terrible. So yeah, I
well,
totally get what you're
it
saying.
could get really brutal out there.
Yeah, 100%. So, moving on from that, I want to talk a little bit just about kind of your routine and your approach and how you approach things. So, um, what would you say is your approach? You step into the box, let's just say it's a stock righty. What's kind of your approach at the plate?
Um, First before I get in the box, I tell myself there's nobody better than me, and I kind of just try to go blank. Honestly, try to hit a hard line drive to the second baseman and just not miss my pitch. Honestly, I try to keep it simple. Because when you think in the box, as you know, like it gets pretty hard to hit because it's already hard enough, like with all the velo and stuff coming at you, and when you're thinking about something else, your load, like timing, whatever, it'll be rough because you can't hit the ball.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're up there and you're guessing pitches, or you're saying like, "Oh, that swing didn't feel right. My
Yeah,
hand's getting to the right spot." You're already beat. There's no way that you can recover
exactly.
from that. So, along with that, what's kind of your routine just throughout the day, um, going into a game, and how do you get yourself prepared physically and mentally?
I'd definitely say gotta wake up and get a good breakfast. Um, get to the field, then I'll probably get in the hot tub, stretch. If I have to lift, I'll lift, and then do like my little prep routine I have for my core, and get ready to do early work or go hit. Do my routine in the cage, so like tee to flips to little dart rounds, basically like a mini BP. Keep it short and simple, not too many swings. Then go get my ground balls. I have like a little routine on the side with our machine or like fungo. And then I come back, I eat, pregame meal, I shower, and then I listen to music, and then I read the Bible before we go out there and play.
That's awesome.
And
Sounds
that's
like
every
you.
day.
Yeah, I feel like I'm maybe wrong, but I feel like you probably have developed that over your time in pro ball, where maybe when you first showed
Yeah,
up, you're like, oh gosh, I have no idea. Because in college, you just do what you're told pretty much. Everyone's doing the same thing.
100%.
Did you kind of develop your routine, and is it still kind of growing a little bit throughout your time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
awesome.
also now it's like you have a little bit more like time in between stuff. Like during in college, it was like, okay, everybody shows up. We got stretch, infield hit, and then you have your in and out, and then 25 minutes you're back on the field.
Yeah.
So like I'm usually getting to the field for like a 7 o'clock game at like 1. So I have like so much time to prepare.
Yeah. And that definitely makes it so you don't feel rushed, or you feel like you have to,
Exactly.
go through your routine quick. It makes it easy, just kind of let it flow. And then once it's game time, you're just ready and you're locked in.
100%.
Yeah. So being down there in Florida in spring training, you're in big league spring training. Have you learned anything from maybe just some veterans or guys that have had some time in the bigs, and what has their presence kind of been like?
Yeah, just getting to watch. I was what 3 lockers down from Altuve, so it's like seeing him. He's smiling every day. Seeing Jordan, my locker was next to Pena's and Paredes, and just being around the guys and just seeing how it's a job, but you gotta have fun. Those guys have fun every day, but they get their work in. They prepare the right way. They have the same routine every day and everything that they do, from recovery to the weight room to eating, um, to on the field. Like everything has a purpose. You're not just out there just messing around, because like if it's not intentful, then like what's the point of doing it? Like you're just wasting time. So that's the biggest thing I've seen between those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are your kind of goals or things you're trying to improve on going into this season?
Well, going from winter ball, just had defensive goals and working on being better defensively, making more consistent plays, making the routine plays consistently, and then hitting, just being on the barrel more, having more contact, and that's about it.
Keep it simple. I like that.
Yeah,
I totally forgot to
keep
ask,
it
how was
simple.
winter ball? How was winter ball in a
It was
new
a lot of
country
fun.
and playing baseball down there?
Yeah,
Anything
it was a lot
exciting
of
down there?
fun. The first game of the season is in Mayaguez, and they had a band playing the whole entire game every time we played there. So that was a lot of fun. Learning new
Yeah.
culture, a lot of good food, and great people. Those guys loved the game. They had so much fun, and got to the championship. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but had tremendous amount of fun with those guys, and it was a great experience for sure.
Yeah. What's the difference like in just the baseball culture down there, where here in the US everyone gets upset when guys bat flip too hard, and then down there like everyone it seems like they enjoy playing baseball way more down there, and every little victory, a home run, they're pimping it. And what's kind of that like?
I think it's just kind of sometimes I think the realization of like this game's hard. So like when you get a ball as good as you get it, you gotta show it and show yourself, be expressionable, personable, and just have fun. Those guys love to have fun playing and competing. It means everything to them. And so seeing that, it brought a lot of joy to my eyes and it helped me out a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to finish up every interview with the same question. If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing just about the mental game and how you handle yourself, what would it be?
Uh, you're not as good as you think you are, and you're not as bad as you think you are. Um, just stay even keeled and just be yourself. Don't be anybody else.
100%. I feel like once you ride the roller coaster, you're just never going to get success. But if you just kind of gradually just continue to go up, that's where the success is made.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you for coming on the podcast. This has been absolutely awesome. And I'm rooting for you this season.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good one, T. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you again to Brice for sharing his journey and insight into the mental side of the game. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find it valuable. Thanks for tuning in and keep moving forward. Until next time.